Hey there, just thought I'd make another video, this time about the Catholic school, the Covington Catholic School. So if you're white, especially if you're a white male, this is for you. This is especially for you. Now, when this story first came out, and I do apologize about my voice, I've been sick the last couple of days, my sinuses are all plugged up and been blowing and hacking. Anyhow, when this story first came out, I passed over it as, well, my initial reaction was, I don't get it. There's really nothing to see here. Let's move on. And my second thought as I was moving on was that, yeah, the media is going to take this and blow it wildly out of proportion. Which, sure enough, they did. Except they didn't just simply blow it out of proportion. They didn't even... Twisting it isn't even a strong enough of word to convey what the media did with this story. What they did was they deliberately lied. They willfully and deliberately lied for the purpose of attacking these kids. Okay? I mean, I thought kids were the most cherished. I thought everything politics and the media did was to protect the children. Well, apparently not. Not if they're white children. Okay? Now, I want you to understand that the whole media shebang, the whole debacle over the Covington Catholic kid and MAGA hat wearing white kids is about them being white. It's not about them being part of a school, or it's not even about racism, really. It is yes and no. But it's more specifically about them being white, coupled with another idea that I'm going to convey to you. I just realized my hats are in the background video. Sorry about that. Don't want you seeing that hat. This is the more appropriate hat. Chevy, baby. Even though I'm driving a Ford right now. Anyhow, this was about the kids being white and not sufficiently subdued. Right? This white kid looked that dirty, scoundrelly piece of shit Native American in the eye while he was banging his drum in this kid's face. Okay? A 60-something-year-old stolen valor. I'm going to go so far as to say stolen valor. I do not believe for a second that this guy was any part of the armed forces as he claims, let alone going to Vietnam. So I'm going to call him one of those individuals who fakes having served for this country and get the label stolen valor. That white kid was confused. Okay, now the media and society and people who watch that are either A, so stupid that they cannot read the emotional state on a person's face like you should normally be able to do, and they construed that kid's confusion and attempts not to piss anybody off by being polite and firm with a malicious, smirking, racial hatred. That's number one. Anybody that looked at this kid's face and came to that conclusion, you're either A, that stupid that you can't read emotions correctly on a person's face, or B, you're not that stupid and you're intentionally malicious. And the reason you're intentionally malicious is because the idea that white men should be so subdued that they look down and cower and get out of the way is so ingrained in you that that's what you expect. That's what you demand. Well, this kid wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. And I bet you, in the back of his mind, all of this he was quite well aware of. He knew in the back of his mind that because he was white and male, that his masculinity was going to be labeled toxic. You know, I'm going to point out, I forget which channel it was that I was watching earlier today that expressed this opinion or this idea, that it's not any other race's masculinity that is toxic, right? Black masculinity, no, that's not toxic. That's hailed as heroic, okay? Native American masculinity, no, that's not toxic. That's hailed as heroic and noble. Even though when whites got here, Indians were at war with each other, murdering, slaughtering, raping each other right and left, right? It's not like we got here and the noble Indian was just peaceful and never told a lie. Okay, well, this Indian told a lie, a whopper of a lie, and he kept repeating it. CNN kept repeating it, knowingly and willingly. So, keep in mind, white men, white boys, only your masculinity is toxic. Nobody else's, just yours. And in order for you to be forgiven, well, you cannot be forgiven. The left would not be satisfied with the death of every white person on the planet. They would have to go further and destroy anything any white person has ever touched or left their mark on. That includes society as we know it. That includes Western civilization as we know it. That includes the whites being responsible for being the first ever to end slavery. No other race attempted to end slavery. Only whites. We were the first to do it. And whites, even though they had slavery, had it for a much, much shorter amount of time than other cultures, namely and specifically the Arab Muslim culture, which still engages in slavery to this day. Slavery of black Africans. So all you blacks out there telling white people like me to go to Europe, keep in mind, your people aren't being oppressed by whites. They're being oppressed by the people you sympathize with. Arabs, Muslims. How dare you? How dare you? To the media and the left and all the other white feminist cucks out there, telling you, shame on you, how dare you, isn't going to do a damn thing. You're lost. You are lost as human beings. You're not worth the ground you walk on. You're not worth the dirt that you walk on. I could spit on the dirt that you walk on and it would still not be worth anything. Yes, I'm including you white feminist males. Worthless pieces of shit. Yes, you are. And you know it. You know it. Now, to all you men, white men, you need to know, the world is coming after you. The world wants your head. Don't back down. Don't ever be sufficiently subdued. Adios.